Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another interview in KnochenTV. Today, our guest is Don McManus. I hope I pronunciate it right.
You're doing
And
swell. Yes.
we talk about voice acting in general, acting in general, and the main interview is about Life is Strange. And the first question I had in mind was how did it start? Your acting thing.
Oh, how did acting start? Well, it started when I was very young. It's when I was 11 years old. I met one of my teachers was a magician,
Okay.
and he taught me how to do stage magic. And I toured as a magician for a couple of years, from 11 to 13. And then when I was 13, I decided I liked the stage, so uh, I joined a theater youth group,
Okay.
and so I've been on stage since I was 11. I've been acting since I was 13, so that's 2 weeks now, and um, that was a small joke, and yeah, I've sort of always been doing it. I When I went to school, to university,
Okay.
I entered in physics and philosophy, and I graduated in comparative literature and with a minor in theater. So uh,
You're
I've
qualified.
just been doing it for a very long time. And then I apprenticed at a Shakespeare company in
Okay.
San Diego. Um, so it's hard for me to remember when I wasn't doing it.
So it was from your childhood to your adulthood.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
What do you like at most about your work?
Well, I've been able to do a really broad spectrum of things. I don't just do comedy or tragedy. I do all of that kind of thing, and also I started out on stage, so I did a lot of stage early on, and then I've done a lot of television and
Okay.
film, and now I'm starting to do a lot more voice acting
Okay.
and video games and motion capture, which is a whole new thing for
Motion
me.
capture, yeah.
Yeah. And I've recently gone back to the stage. Uh, Tonight I'm closing a production of Uncle Vanya,
Okay.
in which I play Vanya,
Okay.
and I'm in the middle of a television show, a four-camera television show called Mom, with
Mom.
Allison Janney and Anna Faris.
Okay.
So I get the thing I like most about it is, as a character actor, I get to play a whole lot of different types of people. I mean,
Okay.
just in Life is Strange. I mean, you obviously know that I play David Madsen,
Yes.
the stepfather, but I also play two of the high school students.
Okay.
Uh, I play Logan and Hayden
Okay.
as
Yeah.
well, and so that's fun to get to
Yeah.
play people that different,
I can
even in the
imagine.
same game, right?
Yes. How does it work with the different characters? Do they pitch your voice or?
Well, I do. I change my
Ah,
voice,
okay.
and I find a different attitude. There's kind of a bro sound for some of them, and there's a little kind of a stoner sound for for a few. And if you're consistent, then it ends up making the characters very different. It's a lot of fun. It's
Well,
really a lot of fun.
I know if I try to pitch my voice, something of my ground voice is
Yes,
still there. But
sure, sure, but it's the consistency of the choice that is what you end up hearing. You know,
yeah,
um, and yes, and even the voice of David is not exactly me.
yeah.
There's a slight southernism to his accent, and you know
Earlier you talked about theater and in movies and TV shows.
Yep.
What do you like most of them, the three things?
Well, I, uh, I once upon a time I would have said theater because you get to be in the same room with the audience and there's a very immediate response. But uh, over time, I've begun to appreciate each of them. I really like film because the entire cast and crew becomes one unit, this sort of single organism that has a rhythm and breathes together,
Okay.
and that's it's it's like the difference between singing solo and singing in a chorus when you're in the middle of a great big chord,
Yeah.
and you're all sort of resonating together,
Okay.
and that's sort of that's exciting, and it's it's a way of feeling like it's a very intimate way of working with other people, and obviously also on film you get to do much smaller, more detailed work,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I like all of it, and I really appreciate, as I said before, I like the fact that I get to do so many different things.
Yeah.
So hard to say what's best. The one I'm doing at the moment is my favorite. I genuinely enjoy all of the different types of acting that I get to do for very different reasons. The motion capture stuff was really interesting.
Motion capture. How does it work? They do some points at your face, or
Yes, I mean, well, first of all, they capture your face. There's
okay.
in the one that I recently did, they do the reference dots on your face,
Yeah.
and then there are, in this case, there were 30 different cameras. They took pictures of my face
Okay.
from every possible angle that they could get, and then you did, or I did, different expressions in, 60 different expressions to just get
Okay.
the way that my face moves in general, and they build a three-dimensional model from that, from those reference shots, and then when we actually do it, I'm in a motion capture suit that I'm sure you've seen before. It has the balls all over it, and
Joe
and
called it ping
reference.
pong balls.
Yes, exactly, sort of ping pong balls, and then there's a type of helmet that has a camera that is focused directly on my face,
Okay.
recording the reference dots on my face to see how my face moves in the moment, and then they'll combine that with the reference scan that they did statically, and create and model my face three-dimensionally.
Okay.
It's a really interesting
Yes.
process.
These points in your face, are the electric something technology in there, or is it just?
No, they're just reflective paint.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Did you think about stopping before? Also stop doing what you are doing now. Also your voice acting.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've been doing it a very long time, and of course, if you do something for decades, at some point you're going to think maybe it's time to do something else. I considered going back to school. I really enjoyed academia. As I said, I was interested in physics,
Yeah.
so yeah, sure. Every now and then you think, well, it's time to change things up. But when it comes right down to it, I really like doing what I do. So, you know, I'm too lazy to change my life.
Too lazy. Oh.
And I've been very lucky. It's that, in terms of work coming up, I work pretty much as much as I want to, and
Yes.
that's really lucky for an actor.
Yes. So you can decide what you want to do.
Yes, I mean, you've seen my IMDb page, so
Yes.
yeah, it's I'm busy.
how is it behind the scenes? I mean, you can see in the behind the scenes videos and the games and on the movies and
Right.
other CD, the cameras, the laughing. I don't know if it's real or if it's edited.
Oh, no. No. Well, sure, it's edited because a lot of behind the scenes is just really boring. Because we're just working. But no, the laughing and when we break character and we make each other laugh. No, that's all very real. Yes, that is absolutely true. I mean, you work fast. In terms of voice acting, you work really fast. We record a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time, and so of course you're going to make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes are pretty funny. And sometimes you try things that you're not sure whether they'll
Okay.
work or not, and sometimes when they don't, sometimes they'll work and they'll be hilarious. Sometimes they won't work, and that's even funnier. Yeah. So no, we have a really good time. This this group on Life is Strange,
Yeah.
it's just a really nice group of people. I really enjoyed working with them.
Do
Um,
you know each of them or
well, no,
some?
in terms of the other actors, there are very few that I actually recorded with. We mainly record separately. A couple of times we record with each other, but like I know Joe Achman just because
Yeah,
I've known him for a long time.
for a long
Um,
time. Okay.
oh yeah, Joe's been around a long time, and we've run into each other over the years, and
You live in the same city, right?
oh yes, absolutely. We both in Los. Not only are we both live in Los Angeles, but we have the same agent, so we run into each other there on occasion.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Because of the script, you talked about the new stuff you try, and do you have to know in films? Do you have to know all phrases in your head, or are there pages where you can read it?
In in this instance, um, you have the script in front of you while you're doing it. Um, Obviously, for film and television,
Yeah.
you have to have your lines memorized, and obviously on stage you have to have your lines memorized. But when you're doing voice work, very often you just have the script right in front of you, and you have it to reference while you're speaking. And for motion capture, you have to have it all memorized because
Okay.
you're being filmed in 3 dimensions.
Do you have to wear green suit then?
Well, for motion, there's a motion capture suit, but for the voice work we did on Life is Strange, no, we're just behind a mic in a recording booth.
Some people don't know how it is behind the scenes. How is it then there?
Right. Well, you go in. There's the control booth where
Okay.
the engineer is and the director is, and there's a and they have a live link to the producers. Um,
Voice live link or
yes.
cameras?
No, a voice live link.
Okay.
And so the producers are on a voice link. The director is in the booth along with the engineer, and then you're in the recording booth.
Okay.
And there's a window between us so that they can see what's going on in the booth, and there's a mutable uh, microphone that they
Okay.
can communicate with me in, so that they can talk to each other uh, and not disturb my work when I'm working, and they can
Yeah.
talk about the work, about ideas about it, without me hearing them. So for most of it, I'm in the booth by myself.
Earlier you said something about a TV
Yes,
series like called Mom.
yes.
What is it about?
Well, that's a really interesting series. It's about a very dysfunctional family. That's a mother, a daughter, her mother, and her grandmother And the
Uh,
mother and grandmother are both recovering addicts. Um,
okay.
and this is a comedy, by the way. And um, and the people in their lives, the other people in recovery with them, in treatment with them, and I play a recovering addict who's also an attorney who is
Okay.
who is in their Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and and it's about getting through life, working through your problems and getting through life together. It's a really and Allison Janney won the Emmy uh, award for it this last year for her work on the
Okay.
show. Um, it's just I really love the show. It's a very there's some darkness. There's a lot of darkness to it.
Okay.
There's a huge amount of humanity to it, and I really like working on it.
Do you watch this show in TV?
Oh, sure. That show, yes. I really, yeah, absolutely. I love that show. I'm not big on multi-camera shows, and as it works out, if there were one four-camera show that I could be on, if I could pick, it would be this one. So I feel very lucky
Okay.
to be doing it.
But you know the whole story of it, right?
Well, yes, yes. Well, I mean, I find it week by week. I don't know what's going to happen ahead of time. I get a new script and I find out what's happening and where the character's going to go. So I don't know much more than the audience. I know it a month earlier, but that's all.
In the voice acting, you're not at the same time in the same studio, right?
No, no, not at
So,
all.
how often do you see your coworkers?
Very seldom at work. We run into each other other places, around town. I
Yeah.
run into Joe sometimes at the agency, as I said, because we have the same agent.
Yes.
Um, but and if we have a dinner for the group, then we see each other there. But almost never at work, unless one of us is scheduled right after the other. In general, you work 4-hour blocks. And if someone comes in right before you or right after you, you may run into them, may see them that way. But no, in general, you do it by yourself.
Do you talk to them then?
Sure, sure. Yeah, it's a friendly community. Um, we have a lot of us have run into each other just from, you see each other at auditions or at agencies or around town. I actually, voice actors are a friendly group in general.
Do you recommend voice acting to actors?
Yes, absolutely. I love doing voice acting because you get to play characters that you would never get to play if you were doing them on camera. As I said, I'm doing I play these two students in the game in Life
Yeah.
is Strange. I would never get to play those if I was in front of a camera because I don't
Yeah.
look like that. But
Yeah.
But if I'm not on camera, I get to do stuff I would never ever do. Sure, yes, absolutely.
What do you like more?
Voice acting or on camera acting? I do much more on camera acting. So I'm used. I would say on camera acting for the reason that you just mentioned. I get to do that with the other actors.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's more fun. It's more fun being with people that you're working with. But I get to do stuff and play ridiculous characters. Sometimes, cartoony characters in
Yeah.
voice acting, and that's a lot of fun. But when push comes to shove, I'd rather be in the same room with the people I'm working with.
Do you sometimes work with other voice actor in the same room, or does it never happen?
It happens sometimes, sure, but not very often. At the very beginning, um, I was in the same room with, I think, been in the same room with both the lead actresses. And I think early on that was just to get a sense of each other.
In Life is Strange?
Yes, in Life is Strange.
So
Um,
you mean Ashley Birch and Hannah
yes,
Taylor?
yes. I
Uh,
believe I've been in the same room with both of them, but that was early on, you know.
okay,
Um, and and I think really it was just so that the director could hear us uh, play off each other and see how
okay.
it worked that way, you know. And then after a while, then it was just we did it ourselves.
How does an actor get his jobs? What kind of meaning does IMDb have?
Um, well, that's the Internet Movie Database,
Yeah.
literally, and it's that is just that's just a research tool for a lot of us, so that we see, you can find out what the people that you're working with have done before.
Okay.
Um, just get a sense of what kind of work they've done in the past. Um, it's just a and it's polite, frankly, when you go into work to know something about the people that you work with. And so IMDb doesn't really have much to do other than research. It doesn't have much to do with getting you a job. At this point, a lot of times people will just call up my manager and ask if I want to do something. Um, Casting directors
Yeah.
most commonly will contact my manager, or they'll put out what's called a breakdown to the entire industry and say we're looking for this kind of actor,
Yeah.
and my manager will look at those and say, well, I think Don's right for this role and this role and this role, and then talk to the casting director, and then the casting director will bring me in, and I'll meet and or audition
Yeah.
either just for them or for them and the director and producers, and that's
Yes.
how you get a job.
What kind of job wouldn't you do? I mean, you wouldn't do it at all.
Well, I wouldn't do a job that I think is poorly written.
Okay.
If it's I've turned down jobs because I thought they were cheap laughs, um, or childish or sophomoric, and I've turned down jobs for that. I've I'll play any character as long as the character's well written. One of the things that I do when I take a job, take on a character, is I try to prove that this person has some humanity to them, that
Okay.
they have more than one dimension to them.
Yeah.
And you can do that with a villain. You can do that with anyone. And if you can't do it, if you can't find a way to make a character human,
Yeah.
uh, and multidimensional and complex, then either the script is badly written or
Okay.
you're the wrong actor for the job.
Does your agent read the scripts before, or
Most of the
okay?
time.
And he decides, oh, that's something that would match with Don, and that's something. No,
Yes.
he can't do this.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes my manager will say, "This is a uh, this is a terrible project. I don't want you involved in it." And sometimes they'll say, "This is a really good project, and even though the role isn't that big, I think you want to be involved in this because it's good material." And in general, I take my manager's word for that.
You and Joe have the same agent,
Yes.
and is that the reason you and Joe were in Life is Strange together?
Um, that is not the reason we were in Life is Strange together. The reason was the director liked both of us so much, and in fact, it was that same company that put us in both in Fallout 4. That was that director and and the head of casting for that company. Really nice company to work for. I really enjoyed working on both those games.
You are the stepfather, and he is the real father.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's a much nicer guy than I am.
Yeah. But David has his nice times.
Yes, yes. Well, there's an example of what I was talking about. I mean, you try to find a way to, and it's in the writing. The writers have put this in there, and I try to enhance it. That he's not just a mean guy. He's a guy with some problems.
Yeah.
He's got a troubled past, and
Yeah.
he's trying to be a good father. He just very often doesn't know how.
Why do you think he is become that person he is at the beginning, at least?
Well, yes. I mean, he's made the mistake that a lot of people who are military or paramilitary make, which is that rules are the same as order, and that if you just follow the rules, everything will be fine. Whereas in reality, you need to be a little bit more forgiving than that in order to make things really work. If you're too rigid, very often things fall apart. And that's part of what happens with David. He's too rigid with himself, and too tries to make himself and his family conform to a set of patterns, and it doesn't work. It blows up in his face. Well, he became this way because he had no other pattern. The military was the only pattern for behavior that he had, and he changed because that way of dealing with the world failed him. And when it fails, you have to change. I mean, and that's one of his best characteristics, that he's able to recognize, oh, this is not working. I've been doing this wrong, and he tries very hard to make amends for that, to change that.
But at the end in this game,
Yes.
He can go other ways with him. It can go other ways with him because the player is a person, and he decides, I don't like this guy. I want to put him away or something like that.
Yep, absolutely. That's and so in terms of playing it, you have to play both sides of that decision.
Yeah.
You know, and that's which is lovely. That's a wonderful challenge as an actor, and a reason for doing a role.
Did you play Life is Strange?
I'm on a Mac, so so there's no platform. It's not available. You can't do it on a Mac. So I'm actually getting a console so that I can play that and Fallout 4 and all the rest of the ones I've been doing. But no, all I've been able to do is see the trailers and they've played for me in the booth some of the game. But no, I haven't been able to play it myself, and I'm frustrated about that. I look forward to it.
What console do you have?
I don't have one right now. I have like old ones. I have like an old Xbox and I have to get like a contemporary one so I can play these games.
The same, but Joe said that he will buy it.
Yes, and I'm trying to decide which one to get. You know, which console to get.
I can't tell you. Product placement. I don't know. I would. I consider to buy one because I consider to buy a PlayStation 4 because the game I love is in a remastered edition, and okay, I have it on PlayStation 3, but PlayStation 4, the same game, but it's the best game, one of the best games I played. It's what is it called? Beyond Two Souls. I don't know if you know it, with Alan Page.
Yes.
And William Dafoe.
Awesome. I've heard of that. I haven't seen that, but I've heard of that. That's great. I would love to play that. I'm a big fan of hers. She's awesome.
Yeah, me too. and that's only at PS4. But I consider also to take a Xbox One, but because of the game, maybe I would prefer PlayStation 4.
Got it. Got it. I do you know which one reads your movement better? The Kinect for Xbox or for PS4? Do you know which one?
I don't know, but I think it would be PS4 because they are that's longer there than in the Xbox,
Got
I
it.
think.
Oh, that's a good point. I have to do that soon. Do that soon because everyone asks me, have you played it, and I want to. I want to. So I'm gonna have to go out and buy a console so I can play my own game.
And Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm.
The most games, Life is Strange, okay, it was in English only, but
Right.
I usually play it in German. And the problem is because I know Joe, I consider if I buy Fallout to play it in English to listen the voice.
Oh yes, absolutely. You have to. Oh, you have to. Yeah.
And the most people say English voice acting is better than German voice acting.
I would have no idea. I would have no idea. Even if I were to listen to German voice acting, I wouldn't know whether they were doing well at all because
You don't understand them.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, but just to listen to Joe and me, by the way, yeah, you have to get the English one.
How did you came to Life is Strange?
Well, as I said, there was the casting directors put out a breakdown, and my agent and Joe's agent brought us in, and we read the characters in the booth, and the director liked us both, and so that's how they hired us. And then we worked on it, and as we were working on it, the director started to say, hang on, dude, you want to try one of these other characters here? Want to do a couple of these other characters? And so I was just hired to play David, and then I ended up playing at least 3 other characters, and I think maybe 5 other characters in the game.
In the moment, your agent that you or told you about Life is Strange and about the job offer. You and Joe, were you at the same time there, or
in the office? You mean? No.
Yeah, in the office.
No. That was just they just emailed us and said, here they want you to do it. So.
Because I thought you are friends and maybe you read the script together.
No. I didn't. In fact, I didn't know Joe was in the game until we all went out to dinner together. Joe's character is in a altogether different storyline than me.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally can't work together because if Joe's around, I'm not, and if I'm around, Joe's not. So it wasn't until we were at the cast dinner party, and I was like, "You're in this game? Who are you?" It was great. It was great fun.
Oh yeah, it exists a photo of you and Joe and some of the cast.
Yes.
At a restaurant, I think.
Yes. That was the night we found out that we were both in the game.
You said earlier, again, that you were in the room with the 2 main actresses.
Yes.
And what do you think of them?
Oh, they're lovely. They're really fun to work with. Really, very willing, very open, very accessible, very honest. And, they're both really, really nice actresses.
I hope to get them in an interview in the future. I hope so.
You will like them
if they accept.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't.
In German, I would say you could ein gutes Wort für mich einlegen. It means to say a good word for me.
Sure, sure. If they ask me, I will absolutely put in a good word for you.
I don't force you to something like that.
Don't worry about it.
Does the scene have people who take part in a likable character only? I mean, the scene does have some movie scene. For example, Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's one of these actors who can decide I want this or I don't want this.
Yes.
Does the scene have people who do only likable characters or characters they're likable for them or
Well, I mean,
something like that?
there is a thing that we refer to as typecasting in
Okay.
in movies or film where people think of you, people think of an actor as only doing one type of character. Now, as you say, Leonardo DiCaprio can decide whatever kind of character he wants to play. Not all of us have that kind of that kind of freedom. There's a trade-off that happens where you get offered the roles that people think you can do, and you try to stretch that as much as possible. I'm a character actor, and I've been very lucky in that I have not been typecast at all. There's never sort of one kind of character that I'm allowed to play. I get to play good guys and bad guys and mean guys and nice guys and funny guys and disturbing guys.
Yeah.
So I've been lucky that way. A lot of actors only get to play one kind of guy. They get to play, the Italian mobster guy, and that's it. Or they get to play the nerd, and that's it. Or they get to play the guy in the suit, and that's it. I've been very fortunate in that I haven't been typecast like that.
Is it important to you to identify yourself with the role you take part in? I don't think so, because you said you don't want characters who just have one part in it.
Well, the part that I identify with is that I'll take a character and I'll figure out, okay, who does he need to be to make the story work? If he needs to be an antagonist to a certain character, to create some tension there, to make the story move forward. Okay, that's fine. Let's make sure, first of all, that you satisfy what the story requires. But then after that, now what makes him human?
Okay.
And so insofar as I do that, then yes, I do identify with the character because I'm at least trying to add my idea of humanity and vulnerability to this character, to these words on paper. So yes, to a certain degree, I have to identify with every one of them. Are any of them the same as me? No, none of them.
Off topic in this case, but do you know from the movie Joe is co-writer? Meet Cap Sloan or something like that. Is it called? It was in Indiegogo, I think.
Oh, I don't know that project. Joe was telling me about it, but I don't know the project. So I'm the wrong person to ask about it. But yes, I do know that Joe is working on that. I don't know what status that's in at present.
I thought maybe you know something about it.
I can't add anything to what Joe told you. I really don't know much about it.
Do you watch the interview with Joe?
No, I haven't seen it. I didn't know that I could. He didn't send it to me or anything.
No worry.
Please
after the interview,
send me a link to that. I would love to.
I will do it after the interview.
Yeah, I would love that.
Did you enjoy the work in Life is Strange? What was it in context to other games you took part?
Yes, I did enjoy it. I liked it because to me, a lot of it's very funny.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of playing David, there's a lot of fun in making him sort of out of touch with the kids, you know,
Yeah.
and making him you know, a little fuddy-duddy sometimes, and a little too stiff sometimes, and then getting to play the some of the kids. I we just made each other laugh in there. It's the director and engineers would and the producers would say, okay, try this. Just okay. We get the dialogue that we needed, and then
Yeah.
you know someone would pitch. It'd be funny if he said this, wouldn't it? And so then you
Yeah.
try that, and you just sort of make it up as you go, and that's really fun. So yeah, it was a really good group of people. I had a lot of fun playing with them.
It's not the script at all, though you can variate
Um,
it.
in this instance, there's no quote unquote improvisation. Uh, you do it as scripted, but then after you get the scripted uh, line the way the producers and director want it, then either they'll suggest another line or you can suggest another line sometimes.
Funny, you said to make David out of touch with kids, and he is
Yes,
a security
yes, absolutely.
security guard in the school.
Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't mean he necessarily understands how kids think.
He's on the wrong place then.
Well,
But
that's
he wanted to be an officer.
yeah. I don't know that security officer at a high school was his dream job. Um, I think there are probably other jobs he would have preferred. It's just where he ended up.
Interesting in this case is that in the game,
Yep.
in another reality, he is bus driver.
Yes, yes,
He can't decide.
yes, yes. It was fun when I found that out. That was, yeah, yes, there is.
Was it in a
I,
was it in a trailer? How did you find out?
well, I mean, I record it. I read the script, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I recorded that reality.
All of the staff who is in the game is at the script too.
No, I don't see everyone else's story, but obviously I see all of my story to record it. But no, I don't. They don't give us. They don't hand out the whole script. You don't get to see the whole script in this instance. Um, so I don't know everyone's story, just mine.
What was the difference between Life is Strange and other voice acting you did?
Well, as I said, this was there was a lot of humor in this,
No.
and not so much in other games. Other games don't have as much comedy.
At least in the beginning of Life is Strange, there was very much stereotypes in there.
Yes, early on, and then we got to break those stereotypes a little bit. In terms of the storytelling, it was other than the two lead characters, it's useful to establish a type of character, and then as time goes on, break that stereotype.
Like with David Madsen.
Yes, exactly.
It shows that the games have code names, and
Yes.
you at the beginning you don't know what it is about. Do you get the informations of the character? Was the question before? But
Yes,
you
find
have
out,
to know.
you find out about the character, but you don't get, as I said, you don't get the whole script. You refer to the game by its code name. You sign what they call NDAs, a non-disclosure agreement, that you won't tell anyone ahead of time what's happening. I wanted to ask the producers whether I could do this interview or not. And then and they of course said yes, I could, because by the time you asked me to do this, all of the episodes had been released. So there wasn't anything, I couldn't give any spoilers. And so yeah, you try to be careful about that because you don't want to ruin the player's experience of the game.
Yeah. So you wrote them an email and they said, yeah, you can do this interview.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Oh, okay. Do you remember the code name of Life is Strange?
I think it was Canadian.
Canadian?
Yeah.
And of Fallout 4?
I can't remember the code name.
What was more work, Fallout 4 or Life is Strange?
Life is Strange. I went back over and over and over again because I did 5 episodes of it. So yeah. So not only and I did multiple characters. Fallout 4, I think I only did 2 characters, and I think we recorded all of my work on Fallout 4. I think we got it all in 1 day, maybe 2 days. If I did 2 days on Fallout 4, they would have been different weeks.
What do you think of or about the story of Life is Strange?
I think it's really good. I think for a couple of reasons. I think it's really healthy that the protagonist is female. I think the way the story is told is really interesting. I think the mechanism of rewinding a decision is really interesting. I'm a big fan of the storytelling. I like it a lot.
Would you like to have the power to rewind time?
Oh, who wouldn't? Of course. We would all like that. Jan, I'm going to have to jump off pretty quick here.
Yeah.
Do we have any last questions?
The question we had earlier, do you play games you are in? You said you can't.
I can't in this instance, no. I will though.
Yeah.
I just have to.
And the final question would be, we are really fast. The final question would be, in what movie or what game you would have liked or liked to take part in?
Oh.
In the past.
So many. Let me. In recent history, I'm going to try and keep it really as current as I could. Oh, I have some friends who did a movie that caused some trouble last year called The Interview.
I watched it.
Yes. I loved how much trouble they caused. I would have loved to have been in that in some way because just because I love that it pissed so many people off, and that's a really good reason for doing a job, I have to say. And I like a lot of the people that were in it. And it probably would have been a lot of fun.
So you know a lot of famous actors.
I know a few.
For example?
Well, in that one, I know Seth Rogen, and
okay.
Yeah. So I would have, and I've been in a movie with his wife, Lauren Miller, a movie called For a Good Time Call. But yeah, that would have been a really fun project to play in.
Yeah, and what game?
And with games, what game would I? I'm trying to. The games that I know, the old school games that I know, don't have the character development. Like, I mean, I suppose I would have liked to have done mocap for Halo or something like that. That would have been fun. Recently, I guess they're doing more character development, but in the old school, first-person shooter days, there wasn't that much character development in games.
We have something we have to do because we do it all the time.
Okay.
The person who is interviewed at the end of the interview tells us a joke.
Okay. How's a joke? A joke? What joke? Oh my God! No, you needed to give me a heads up there. What joke? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm absolutely drawing a blank. I've absolutely drawn a blank. I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely dry. I'm absolutely dry. Let me see. Oh my God, these. Okay, here we go. This is a short one. A man comes home early from work and tells his wife he just got fired. And he tells her, I got caught with my penis in the pickle slicer. And his wife asks him if his penis is okay, and he says, no, I'm fine. She says, well, my God, well, what happened to the pickle slicer? And he says, oh, she got fired too.
Pleasure talking to you, Josh, and you, Jan.
That's nice.
No, it's fun. It was interesting. We went in places
Very cool, very interesting.
We went places none of us thought we'd go.
And we covered so many topics, so many different topics, interesting topics, and even politics. I wouldn't have thought that we would get actually to politics. Great. And Till Schweiger, my rant. It's not finished. Yeah, but, and as Jan already said, he also told me that he had already told you that we want to hear a joke from you. Have you prepared?
God, I forgot about that.
Okay. But maybe have something tonight.
Oh gosh. Actually, there's a joke I know, but it's a joke that the punchline requires that is a punchline about harsh German language.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right. This is a very intellectual joke. This joke was taught to me by Theo Beckel.
Okay.
Do you know who he is? Theo Beckel is a very famous actor and musician here who's in the original production in Fiddler on the Roof and has a bunch of albums out, and he likes to talk a lot. So he tells a joke about three linguists who are sitting around talking about which one of their languages is the best language. And the British linguist goes, well, of course, the English language is the most beautiful language of all. For instance, the word butterfly. You know the word butterfly? It's such a beautiful word, so fragrant and so beautiful and so lifting. It's a lovely word. And the French linguist goes, oh, what are you talking about, you stupid British idiot? The word papillon is much more beautiful. It's such a gorgeous word. Papillon means flight and freedom and all of that. The Italian linguist goes, oh, what are you talking about? You are so stupid. A farfalla. That really gives you freedom and gives you flight. And